their territory as best they can. I don't think anybody wants to push into the buildings, but Navi knows the situation. So if they get an idea of where Twisted Minds might be, they might make a move. As you see Navi just hovering around, they're going to spot out the Virtus Pro vehicles and make their way back down to the south.
So Test Track usually goes more to the west, and that's where it makes it sucky. Being right on Test Track means that this is going to be a very urban-esque ending. S2G is going to be wrapping into the north. Fury are right on top of him. Fury was trying to come down from the hillside, so a couple of shots being exchanged from them. S2G not too comfy in the rotate, as we still do have Myth, Navi, Full Sense, and anyone's Legend trying to get into the circle, and it's starting to become a fortress where there's just squads all around Test Track defending it up, high grounds around the different sections for it, in compounds, and everybody else on the outside just trying to find a dip that feels cozy.
Yeah, I actually like this from Furia. They kind of avoid going into Test Track proper, going to play from that high ground on the outside for a bit and just kind of get a read on exactly where everybody is beneath them. S2G, although they lost Quippa early, they still have a decent spot that they can play here for the time being, as long as Myth doesn't make their way over. Myth is kind of hovering around on that northeastern side, but the shots from 17 may be forcing them to stay off on the edge of zone.
Oh, Twisted Minds continuing getting bullied over here as VP. Nixie's going to spot out the Tulans. That drops him down to just the one, and it is going to be Lou. He's going to be back over around Navi. Navi actually not going for the push into Neox Factory or even really on the angle where Lou was at a moment ago. Instead, they're going to go way further over into the east, so Lou should be safe for the time being, but VP is starting to take more control over Neox Factory itself, just really having supers up to the north of them.
Anyone's Legend actually sent it for the track, I believe, or did they send it into supers? It looks like they did, as it's actually Petrichor Road. The supers right off to the side as well. Petrichor Road going to get Chewy out of there, and he's going to survive for the time being. So Anyone's Legend actually managed to bully Pero off of their split here just a little bit.
This is a great compound. It gives you a lot of strength to get vision on what's going on with the road. You can see it's got a lot of very beautiful angles on the positions around it. So Anyone's Legend trying to set up a farm position, try to go for kills on anybody that's going to be rotating around here. It's also pretty centered. It's kind of defendable, but it also has some vulnerabilities on vehicle pushes, as we just saw a moment ago. So now it's going to be a focus on making sure that they keep low ground control, while now also having a turret position on top to shoot at any firefight that's happening around this position.
Love that we have Petrichor Road and supers right next to each other when they're practically the same color. It's not confusing at all, as it looks like 4 AM is actually going to get Shen back, and they might be able to get him looted up as well, as they're on that south side. They're going to try to make their way in just on the doorstep of JDG, as Navi is trying to find a foothold on the eastern side. 17 taking shots over in that direction. So Navi's going to have to make a send here at some point. They might have a little bit of ridge line that they can play here for the time being. Looks like that's where they're going to go. Yeah,
they were already back over here a second ago, so they can just regroup back in this position and run into it. Furia's got no options, so they've just got to go. Send it right next to a Myth, but a couple of tag-in players from Furia not going down as fast. Looks like they were a bit worried about S2G that they were scouting a moment ago. Furia is kind of sneaking this one through. Nobody coming after him. Finally, 17 starting to unload. But where do you go now? There was actually an open opportunity in front of them that they might have been able to go for, but just the pathing for it wasn't right. Instead, they've just got to collapse in right next to the charging station.
It looks like they actually managed to get everybody in, and that's crazy work by them. Unbelievable that they were able to survive that gauntlet. But as you said, right on T1's doorstep, T1 looking over in this direction, 17 still taking shots. Furia will stop down for now, but they are dead center circle and managed to get all 4 alive. That's pretty impressive work.
Navi with their regroup should feel pretty safe over here still. Just going to be gatekeeping them. VP running a very wide split from Neox Factory, control as much of it as they can get. Supers that you were talking about just a second ago running a 2-2 split. They're also going to be in Neox Factory proper. We do have Full Sins. Nowhere to go, so it's Full Sin time instead. They're going to roll right in between JDG and 4 Angry Men, who then decide to start shooting at each other. I don't know where you can really go, but yeah, sure. I guess the center arc piece is good enough, because it's about all you're going to find.
It's not great, is it? But still keeping everybody up. It looks like Belmont will get knocked, but that should be resable.
There's so many teams. There's, what, 4 different teams that were taking shots at Full Sins? I mean, find some cover, but this is your life now. You're just going to be on your belly watching the whole game go down.
Pretty much. Hopefully you got a lot of smokes, as we'll see if they could survive a little bit longer. Anyone's Legend looking over in that direction. Meanwhile, outside of the facility itself, S2G fighting in from the north. I think they have a lot of real estate that they could play around, but Myth is just in their south, taking shots over in that direction towards Laza. You can see Kiss landing a few there. So S2G in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like Shilla might be able to find a foothold, though.
Just got to run. There is the ridge that they can play for, at least get away from Myth. Looks like Irina is very much more focused in what's going on to the south, but with Shilla getting closer, now he's going to start drawing some aggro from him. A couple of shots might provide a little bit more space for the rest of his team, as he's trying to be a little bit more loud, see if he can find something, but nope. The ranged duo now starting to get scouted. They've been spotted by T1 as well. There is just nowhere to go, and that's just Shilla now alive.
Yeah, it sucks to lose your vehicle when you're out there, and unfortunately for Laz and Baron, they were just on foot. There's not really a whole lot that they could do. Shilla, we'll see if he can stay alive as a solo, try to reposition into this next zone, but T1 is already looking over in his direction, and yeah, he's got to push right into Myth, and Heather's not even going to let him get there.
Circle centered up directly on Test Track and Neox Factory. So that means the external section that 17 was playing from in those buildings, they're going to have to make a move in. Myth goes into the hillside in front of them as fast as possible to try to cut him out. Navi also trying to get into the circle, but they've already found themselves a little bit of a foothold position. Not necessarily feeling the best, but it feels a lot better than what a lot of these rotates are going to be. Down to the south, we've got 4 Angry Men, JDG, both eyes on the same position. It's going to be pretty close to VP's positionals. And E-Arena that we saw just a moment ago taking those shots at S2G, they've got to figure out some way to get through the hillside.
This is crazy by VP. I mean, they've got so much real estate, but they've got so much area that they have to control, and they just can't be looking in every direction all at once. And that's going to allow 17 and 4 a.m. to kind of make their way in right on the edges, as E-Arena looks like they're going to play the high ground for as long as they can. Petrichor Road can stay safe from this, as Myth is just going to send it right into Navi, and they are getting punished for it. And yeah, Made in Thailand will go down. Navi loses a couple. We'll see if anybody's able to capitalize.
This is
17.
actually a little bit spattered over here, so there is a chance to try to go for some of these reses. Blue Zone is at least going to get the flush onto one more. E-Arena got right up into the face of anyone's Legend. That got a bit punished off of the road position. So 2 up for Navi. They've got to be pretty cautious because Fairest is very far back right now and want to get this res on to Boostic, but nades just keep blowing right on top of him. There is no capabilities to go for it, and this is just going to be Beamy raining down nade upon nade on him. Does get the knock. And Fairest has no choice. He's just got to send it in and go for something. Can't even get there in time for the res. Now he's just trapped.
Oh, he's in no man's land as he's getting shot at from afar by 17. Beamy will actually get the knock on a Lil Ghost, and that opens up a little bit of an opportunity here for Fairest, as he has now arrived. And oh no, wouldn't you know it? Yep. Your eternal enemy is just upstairs, Lou, the last member from Twisted Minds, and he has a present waiting for him if he decides to come up that staircase.
If he could kind of see what was going on with that rotate, I wouldn't be surprised, so he might know exactly who's down below him. Fairest just kind of making sure nobody's hiding out in any of these little cubby holes. Nope, it's above you is where it's going to be scarier. This is a very urban finish for these teams. So VP is going to have a control point that we're going to be looking at. Also, anyone's Legend into the west. The Arena can continue to try to use that road, get some vision on what's going to be going on. Somehow, full sense JDG is still going to be alive, but T1's trying to do a little bit of gatekeeping as well as Furia against 17, as it does go more than Neox Factory side.
Okay, now that circle has moved and there's a lot of teams off to the west, Furia on the clock right now. They're gonna have to defend. Let's take a listen into their comms to see how they deal with this.
Meio, fora no amarelo.
Esse safe no 4, será?
Tem nesse com mapero.
Isso é na placa solar.
Oh, na nave só tem o Feirist, viu? Ó, carro.
É os caras de cima, eles vão jogar agora.
Sim. Ah, mas
Like that, very calm, cool, collected from Furia. We get to see the highlight of Navi getting crashed by Myth, and it was a great hold at the first, and unfortunately Navi just gets picked apart by the third parties.
Well, did you like that firefight? Because guess what? 17 just took the exact same spot. Beanie is still in the exact same spot. He just doesn't have any nades. So we might have to have a friend come over here and regroup with him, give him some more fun and utility tools as VP and their split starting to get a little bit dicey because now 4 Angry Men is also down below him. We still also have the standoff that will never end between the solos over here trying to get vengeance on each other.
And full sense, remember they sent it into that art structure. They're down to 2 and they are getting kind of picked out here, but Flash is going to get the flush onto Cold 119, so at least they're getting something as they try to fight in from that outside spot. You saw Supers at that BRDM. We'll see if that becomes a factor later on here as Ferris still trying to clear out Lou, and Lou still has that present ready and waiting for Ferris should he peek the wrong corner.
Like, I know he's here. I know he's here somewhere. Now Ferris is up where Lou was a while ago.
The most
just
dangerous
dancing
game
around
of hide and seek ever.
Yeah, they can hear the footsteps, and oh, there we go. They've got vision on each other. It's Shoddy versus Panzerfaust with a little bit of a shield, and it is going to be the Panzerfaust, just a bit stronger than the Shoddy.
Revenge never tasted so sweet as Lou will take Twisted Minds further into this game than Navi. Beamy looking over in that direction, but Lou smartly dropping the smokes to make sure he doesn't get third-partied here. Is now T1 have to do something about Furia, and Furia gonna have to leave their compound and move around a little bit.
I mean, Furia has not had a whole bunch to work with over here. They're just trying to stay alive in what is just a brutal set of circle shifts. One side of them, they've got supers that are making problems for them if they peek too far to the south. They've had T1 on the other side as finally Full Sense is going to go down. Anyone's Legend right on the edge of the zone combined in with a couple of shots coming up from the supers. So we've got pretty much this area inside of Neox Factory. That's going to be where we have VP, 4 Angry Men, supers, everything else like that. Then to the north, it's all about these counter moves that are going on where T1 now is going to have to be pushing into Furia, but also 17 with some Overwatch onto it as the circles pop, and no section around here feels good.
About the only teams that are feeling good about things, maybe Virtus Pro and Supers, as they still have a lion's share of the big compounds on the other side of the road. Furia, though, they have to deal with this T1 issue, but the smoke wall making things go very, very slowly. This is also getting third party by 17, and Anyone's Legend should come over here soon as well, as Heather will get that opening knock on a BL.
Just trying to change the pacing of this, but T1 just being pretty immaculate in their timings, just setting it up, doing another drop. They're just making it look so efficient, and Furia just doesn't have a lot of options. They're just being bottlenecked, and finally Posa picks around, gets a knock, gets vision on a little bit more what's going to be going on, but it is just a Kraken, the last one up for his team, on the chase, trying to see if he can spot out anybody from T1 to get something else back. He's going to go down, but now that's going to be the catalyst that starts a lot of movement. 17 moves down below all of this, tries to get up into the face of supers. VP spots what's going to be the movement going on. 4 Angry Men, who is wrapping right back behind the angle that 17 just moved from.
And BB can't even see them. He gets nothing here as 4AM is going to push right into Lou. Lou is ready and waiting. He's got the hard cover, the deployable shield to try to work around. It's not going to make a difference in the end, though, as Shen will take him down. But 17, Tianchan finding the double knock. They will wipe supers.
We're done yet. We still have T1 that needs to try to get into the circle, and it's going to be supervised by VP on top, but they've got close range threats down below them, and they know it. They don't want to let 4 Angry Men get too comfortable in position. T1 still trying to figure out how they want to make the push across, because they already have to deal with now an entrenched 17 Gaming after popping off most of the players for the supers, and Anyone's Legend creeping forward, but Luke Rux just got some great vision on here.
Oh my God.
Whoa! That was nuts coming up from Spaceman.
Spaceman just absolutely destroyed him on the peak. 4AM finding some success here. There you go. Nixie, though, will get the trade, get the flush. And now Beamy and Nixie will be the last 2 players left alive here to try to defend themselves. Is actually, no, okay, we're going to get Luka Rux back on his feet. That's good news for Virtus Pro as 17 turns their attention towards T1. They've still got utility left in the bag.
Just the 2 players up in Winbo and Xiao Wu right now. Little Ghost down. Hard to go for any type of res in this environment. It's just a crossfire on top of them. 17 has the center position, but that means that they get all of the fun. Circle just continues to go into the center, so it means DL can still continue to cling to life. VP has some of their high ground, but it's not going to feel too good for too long, so curious to see if they start trying to take more control of that lower section that 4 Angry Men are playing around. T1 has managed to weather the storm mostly, but now they have to deal with Anyone's Legend that's going to be coming in from the west.
Actually insane that T1 has been able to stay alive as long as they have 6 kills for them overall. Anyone's Legend, they've been real quiet over here on this western side. I don't think I've seen them take a shot in a while, and nobody really seems to have taken shots at them, as they've been able to kind of make their way into the zone. As we see Nixie just waiting to see if 4 a.m. will peek through, but 4 a.m. is not going to fall for it.
Yeah, it looks like they're maybe trying to go for some car fortification just to get away from the high ground that VP's got. It's going to be kind of dicey to pull off, but they're just trying to get across this, and that's going to put them in a bit more of a down position. But I love this. Are they just going to try to blow this up? Make sure that it's clear, because there could be a ton of people around it. On the other side of the wall is 17, but it's not going to get enough. Xiao Wu's got focus in onto T1, so the focus from 17 onto T1 might have kept them alive there.
And Deal, the last player for Supers, is trying to hide out there. He survives by 8 HP, will get the kill and flush onto Winda, and T1 will go down as they try to make their way across, as 17 and Anyone's Legend finally starting to wake up on this western side.
VP Lukaruk's gonna go down. Just Beamy and Nixie up. Eyes on the 4 Angry Men's position, running in back behind it. 4 Angry Men now know that they're trapped between another squad of some type. They at least know that it's probably going to be a solo. This has opened up so much more movement for Anyone's Legend on the outside, but 17 Gaming is going to be containing them over there for the time being. VP is the squad that is the catalyst for a lot of what's going to be going on. As here is 17's nades on to Anyone's Legend, who does have cover, but finally having VP get out of these high ground positions has opened up some type of movement for him.
Wild final circle, 12 alive, and it is going to be just on the outside of 4AM's compound in those solar panels, right where 17 Lil Ghost is currently, is where everybody is going to have to go. Virtus Pro get the res, they get the heal off, they jump down, and they're going to try to make their way back to the rooftops. They have to have the high ground.
Must have it. We just lost it a second ago, but now back up here. Lukaruk does take some damage, so these angles are a bit vulnerable from the distance that Anyone's Legend's playing from. But now with the high ground, that means that VP, they've got this under control. Anyone's Legend knows it. They have to run in as fast as possible. That puts them into the face of 17, but here comes Deal. Sneaking up back behind. Can he get a knock? Himas runs in. Panzerfaust goes wide. Deal does get the knock onto BB, but it's going to be Nixie with the last one up for VP. He at least has some safety and some timing to go for one of, not both of these reses.
That's a massive trade from Nixie. Keeps them up. They will lose Lukarux, but he might be able to get Beamy back on his feet. That'll be too strong. But 4AM looking over in that direction as Anyone's Legend. The Panzerfaust just not landing for him as they try to make their way through. Sololzi is down. 9 kills for Anyone's Legend. They have been farming on this south side. Nixie, he's going to spot out Destroy, though, and Hamas is going to go down to the Molotov from Xiao Wu. So just absolute insanity. Shoots the Molotov out of the air, but it's just a little bit off.
VP, every single angle they look down from has got a player back behind it, and they are trying to farm. They're trying to catch up to the position that we see Na'Vi on the leaderboard, and they're finding a lot of success. 7 kills so far. This is a tight nade throw to see if they can connect on it. I don't know, but at least forces them to go across and get another knock into the lower sections of it. So it is a 2v1 right now, as it is just a spattering of people down in the lower sections in trouble. But now with Virtus Pro in this high ground, they're starting to lose it. The way that the dot falls into the center means that VP is now the furthest team away.
Got shotguns in hand for 4AM, and they're mostly hoping that Virtus Pro can do a little bit more damage to 17 before they have to make their way in. As the drop down comes through, and Shen will spot out Nixie. Beamy now the last player left alive for Virtus Pro. He's going to focus down on 17, see if he can find anything before he has to drop down. But Shen comes out at the perfect time. We'll take 2. Beamy gets a couple more before going down, and now it's a 1v2. Hasameme versus 2 from 17.
Going for the peek around, but 17 manages to pick it up. They had everything being thrown at them that game, and they somehow survived from a precarious position. Calaris, this is a pop-off game for them.
Yes, it is huge stuff. I cannot believe we end up in a scenario where we're between Txic and Neox Factory once again here in these games. Rondo's been crazy stuff, Avenger, and all these teams somehow trying to scramble at the end.
I've been thinking about it for years, and now I figured out Neox Factory. What do they make? They make magnets. It's circle magnets, guys. That's what they're making.
It all makes sense.
I can tell you that. That's happening. That's for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Also, some moments of people styling. I don't understand why Nixie was trying to shoot his own molly out of the sky to hit Himas. I think he could have just thrown it at him ass, and it probably would have worked out. But anyway, let's take a look back at everything that was going down in this game as well, Poro, because I do feel a little bit for Twisted Minds and Na'Vi that they obviously this is their drop locations and they see no iota of the late game here.
What is going on here between Twisted and Na'Vi? Like, they've been sharing this spot for so long, and then all of a sudden it seems like they're starting to scrap for it in the early game. I don't know what happened, but unfortunate for them as Team Liquid gets absolutely bombasted by 4 angry men. Unfortunate there for them, trying to be the aggressors, but it just does not pay off in the end.
No, it does not. Of course, as you guys were talking about it, making that move into that compound when this circle shifts the way it did is like, okay, I mean, what are we trying to accomplish here? As all these teams crashing into very important spots, Na'Vi has to enter back into Neox Factory's kind of territory, I suppose, here, Matrim, and it really doesn't go their way in the end.
And it's going to feel bad because the position that we saw them playing from that is where 17 ended in this just messy firefights that were going on, man. This was a brutal couple of circles to end this one out. So respect to walking away on the tail end of it, finding success, because even high ground just wasn't enough. 17 somehow wins this by being the team on the outside and keeping control over it and just keeping distance away from the high.
And there we go. It was a kind of a half-hearted fist bump there. Interesting stuff coming out from the boys. But it's 19 points going the way of 17 Gaming here, being able to take this victory. 4 angry men on the other side of the soul panels as well. Shen with the Groza. 14 points go their way here, Martin, as we have China reigning supreme here, number 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely dominating. Shen with that Groza, man, that is a scary, scary situation for a lot of the guys, and especially with Nixie trying to get off. They're waiting for exactly that, and that's the problem when having this guy. As we see the total leaderboard, though, Virtus Pro and Na'Vi looking good at the top at 17, jumps into 41 points. That's massive.
Yeah, very important for Na'Vi to not have run away with this game. Indeed, they did not, and that means that the catch-up is now definitely on for Virtus Pro, for 17, for T1, 38 points at the moment as well. And Nixie here from the roofs of Neox Factory, able to do 800 some damage. Jeez Louise, Virtus Pro. They actually do really well coming into Neox Factory. We've seen it multiple times, Matrim, where they're able to prevail.
I mean, it was just EU bloodbath in Neox Factory. It is just violence. I don't know what's going on over there, but this is just this is EMEA territory, and they are daring anybody to come into this territory. But 17 finds enough. Big kills coming up right now, as Tianchan did go down a bit early in a lot of what was happening, as now it's going to be Zhao Ru returning into the kills.
Why is it 17 Gaming that only gets to not pull the esports post, Poro? What's this? Why are they allowed?
You know, we're not allowed to talk about it. You know, we've been, you know, we can't talk about favoritism in pose nonsense. But man of the match going over to Nixie, rooftop Nixie, as it were, as Virtus Pro just looked really, really good from the top there, playing from the roofs. They caused so many problems for so many teams in that game. Just brutal.
Yeah, be it the transitions that maybe anyone position could have gotten away with a little bit more to maybe shut down 17 or anything like that. Avenger, one thing's for sure, when you have a high ground angle like that and you're having to make these moves, it does get a little more precarious.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the way that that lines up with how much space is in between the panels and how much you're actually able to play it. Having utility there is crucial to be able to either knock teams away or make space for yourself to kind of have time to get off. But yeah, I like the priority of staying up there for so long to get the amount of kills that they got. But for the win, you need to get off earlier and kind of sweep one edge.
All right, let's listen in as we have Al Rain ready to go, the coach from Na'Vi after game number 4.
Hi guys, it's Bella. I'm standing with Navi's Al Rain. Well, yesterday we had a talk and you said you need to change something from the within, and today seems like you have done that. Your timing, your execution, and the way that you've been sweeping up those kills, it's just mind-blowing. Now, can you share that with us today, or is it too soon?
Well, yeah, we had a lot of discussions, and actually everyone is just got tired of playing too passive. So yeah, the boys today were really aggressive from the very start. I tried to hype them up before the games, and looks like it worked this time.
Aggressive play definitely is your style. I mean, well, you guys are still up in the northern part of the leaderboard now, but who do you have your eyes on? Who do you think would be the biggest challenge in for you to securing your second PGS trophy this time?
We'll fight VP for sure. Yeah, according to the leaderboard, they are our rivals. So yeah, we'll try to beat them up.
What do you want to say to VP then?
You are cooked.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Alrain. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Well, I didn't expect to get that out of Alrain, and we got even a say 감사합니다. Say it. Say thank you. All right. It is time to go to a break. When we return, we have got one more game here for day one. Navi's ruling the roost at the moment, but the catch-up is on for plenty of teams. See you soon.
Hi guys, it's Bella. The next interviewee for Relay Question is Falcons. Kickstart. Hi, Kick. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Well, Glass wanted me to ask, how can you be so consistent?
Well, we've played like 20 games, so I don't know how we're consistent, but I mean, it's pretty much just based on what they do. That's how we've been consistent so far. We've auto review every single thing PO tells them to do. We've just been trying to copy it the best of our ability.
Yeah. Would you say that your rival is Crazy Raccoons then?
No, I think they're like our father figure pretty much, because we just copy everything they do and they're the goats.
Well, okay, enough about Crazy Raccoon and the love that you have for them. What's the one thing you miss from home?
My girlfriend and my cats, I
Nice.
would say, and just being home and having some, home-cooked meals.
Shout out to your girl. And what are your cats' names?
Cookie, Cream, Suki, and Freya.
You have 4?
I have 4.
4 cats. Big family.
Yeah.
All right, well, who should I run off to ask the next relay interview to?
I think Pio.
Pio?
Yeah, we'll just do
Okay,
Pio.
what should I ask Pio?
Why won't he let me drive his BMW?
Okay.
How did he make so much money to get a BMW?
Okay, I'll make sure to ask him that, and I'll get back to you too. All right, thank you, Kick, for joining me.
Bye.
A new heist mode with some familiar perpetrators. A new way to finish off your foes. And a collaboration with the legendary Harley-Davidson motorcycles. All this and more as we dive into the Update 41.2 patch report. First up, we've teamed up with the ultimate heist game, Payday, for a new game mode filled with crime and cash. In Payday mode, you and your squad will choose your class, pick a target, don an iconic Payday mask, and try to get out with as much loot as possible. But be careful not to trigger any alarms unless you're itching for a hefty fight. Completing objectives will award money that can be used to unlock more weapons and equipment. So complete as many as you can to up your arsenal. There's also a special Payday event pass for you to unlock even more cool Payday themed items. Next, finishing off your enemies just got a little more stylish. When you approach a downed enemy with a melee weapon out, you'll now have the option to perform a finishing move with a special animation. For now, executions can be performed using the crowbar, sickle, machete, and of course the pan. But other melee weapons and additional execution animations will be added as time goes on. Motorcycle enthusiasts rejoice. The Great American Ride is coming to the battlegrounds. For a limited time, you can pick up the Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide ST motorcycle skin from step-up packs in the workshop. There's also a custom lobby skin to grab, and plenty more, so be sure to keep an eye out for the official announcement. PUBG and Harley-Davidson. Live to ride, ride to live. We've also got a limited time weekend tournament.
All right, let's get to it then. One more game for day one of the final stage for PGS 5. And so far, so good for Navi at number 1. They were shut down a bit, though, here in game 4, which is fantastic for the rest of the lobby. Because as I said before, the catch-up can begin for everybody here. Now we're going to be moving on to Erangel. Joining me, Avenger, Poro, and Matrim to talk about these games. And Poro, now with it all open, we've got so many great challenges coming up. China's challenging, Korea's challenging, even a little bit more of EMEA challenging.
I mean, I said at the beginning of the day, I wanted to see 17 kind of make a run for it, and the fact that they were surprisingly able to get Tian has made them right on the cusp. It's just a question of will Navi or VP slow down at all with 1 game remaining.
I can't tell what Martin's so happy about. We've come back and he's not stopped smiling.
What could it possibly be?
What is it?
Yeah, Poro, what could it be? I think you know. Maybe you can delve into that a little bit.
This guy and his AI memes, chat. He's the problem.
Yeah, he is
Bully
the problem.
him.
All right. But no problem as we now get into game number 5 here. Thank you once again, Matchroom, for the big focus on Muller's team. Yeah, absolutely killing. I don't mean to. It's just these segments are way shorter than I expect them to be. Let's do it. Thank you very much, boys. We'll get you back after this. I promise I'll ask Matchroom some questions. As we now have Erangel on the way. It's me and Avenger to bring you the last game of the day.
That is. I always try to time it as much as possible to get Poro. And I always get him. I get him every single time, but it is the last one, James. And a Western plane to start things off with, and the plane starting south. Are we going to have a military involved in 2 circles out of 2 on a angle today? I don't know, but I'm excited for it.
Please not again. My heart can't take it. After that last cast we did on Tego, I don't need anything wild. I need some calm. Just a little bit of calm. We'll see. For Erangel, oftentimes there are places that technically can be a lot calmer than others. But for now, all these teams, like T1, for example, going to be much happier with this drop, considering that they get to go west and much easier than the previous plane path, which there was a lot of driving involved.
Yeah, it was. Let's see how they are getting that, and with 17 being in Pochinki, it does feel like home, doesn't it? It does smell like home, as Alrain is preparing home-cooked meals, as he's getting ready to cook some VP.
Yeah, Daddy's back. Tian. He's been able to return. He wasn't out for cigarettes and milk for too long, but he's now back and ready to go. Didn't get much in that previous game, but of course, I think, just having that as an extra individual component, having your proper roster back on board, very good. A North Circle, anything but military. Ooh, okay.
All right, what are we cooking up now? We are cooking up let's try to get Liquid back into the talk of today here. So far, only 13 points, but this is a home turf circle for them and for 4AM. 4AM looking good here, 37 points, only 8 points up to second place here, actually decent. Now we see a little bit of a chase here. Him as bullying Flash from Full Sense.
Yeah, if you look at the top side of the leaderboards, actually, we've had a lot of teams do very well today. And that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Anyone's Legend chasing Full Sense. I mean, Full Sense not as well as Anyone's Legend, of course, so they do not want to be losing people on early. As we watch back, everybody trying to crash into Test Track and Neox Factory.
I don't know what Myth has been trying today. It's not been working out, James. I can tell you that much. Especially there. No. That did not work at all. I like the 17 try to send in and then just speed everything up here. That MG3 really had a huge effect for Venbo and for the guys in 17. They're able to clutch things up, and what a great way to do so, both with utility and Chan also. Welcome back.
Yeah, good stuff. Good follow-ups. To be able to shut down people and get themselves in this position next to the solar panels to make it work. The thing is that works even better now on these solar panel locations is, again, terrain manipulation, being able to create some dips along this way, having the deployable cover also helps, and having vehicles in positions where you can deny teams being able to get kind of cross angles down these solar panels, also very important. And that was able to keep 17 gaming alive for a long time in that game and push them up into 3rd place. Wow.
Look at that. My favorite chef. He is cooking VP up, that's for sure. Look at that. Alrain coming in here. I've been making some bangers today. 2 out of 2 to be thrown in. And Myth, man, 5 points from the absolute heights from Heroes. So now very close to 0. Just 5 points in these so far 5 games is absolutely horrendous performance. We know they're capable of great things, but yeah, 31 people out there, our experts, think, though, the majority of them think that Twisted Minds might be able to have a comeback today.
In fact, all top 3 was EMEA. It was Twisted Minds, Na'Vi, and then Virtus Pro.
Yep.
Which, you know what? I really cannot complain about. I have no qualms with that, and that's the end of my sentence.
Yes, I am satisfied with that one too. Schiller is looking out here too. Good to see S2G and representing inside the final stage here. Good to have them in, and they need to have a little bit of a comeback too. Only 8 points for them, same as Furia. Got a bit of a rough one here. Big names in the bottom here as they chase out Myth. Look at that straight pull up onto Jacob.
I feel like, guys, the circle's really far away. Let's get moving. Let's get a jog on, all right? Like, this is all nice and dandy. You're all shooting at each other, but this is miles away. So any knocks, any losses will mean, ooh, careful, Myth. You need to be getting those reses off if you can even get the blue chips on board. That's going to slow you down as well. And now Kiss is taking down Neurons. This is exactly what we're talking about, man. Like, Arena can't also be affording to lose these players early.
Thumpong trying with the hybrid and the Dragunov to get some shots in, and the AK now as well swapping out. Myth is just looking absolutely roughed out here with everyone just trying to pull up them.
Maybe they just want to fight. Look at him.
Kiss with the SKS and the 6x though. Can make things happen. No, he's capable.
100 damage at the moment, taking down Neurons earlier. And yeah, as I say, I mean, from riches to rags, which is not normally the way in terms of taking first, and now currently being in 16th place so far for day one. A few more points, of course, would bump them up. If they're able to take down E-Arena, that'd be nice. I guess one thing that does bode well for them is, technically speaking, Myth obviously being able to be quite dominant in the entire region as a whole, alongside Full Sense. You know, they've been able to fight against E-Arena a lot in the past regionally, so they technically would have a bit of a bead on them on how they would like to approach things in fights.
Yeah, for sure. This does feel like a game 6 of scrims, though.
At the moment,
with how everything's kind of unfolding. Teams that has high priority in a good spot. Actually, last game, man of the match. Now trying to get some involvement both throughout the game. 5 kills here in the last one. Good pull up some Dolben so far, but I'll say this though, VP has been looking very, very good. There's a big chance that we might see them have a big victory tomorrow, but they're gonna have to take on Na'Vi, obviously. 53 points for them. And remember, as I said, they could have 7 more if they're able to clutch that game on Tego.
Good control from the roof overall. Really impressive. Even, you know, when you're not getting the victory itself, being able to take them out of the match, still very nice to see here. So much damage being done now. Unfortunately for S2G, being found over towards Volcano location means that they will be losing one here once again. They've had a bit of a rough time of it. 8 points on the board so far. Maybe, obviously in our pre-show, maybe a little bit of a heightened expectation for them relative to the Circuit 1. A bit of a better performance so far from them in this one, but not by much.
Right. With how everything is lining up here, a lot of teams are not entirely sure that this circle is going to go north just yet. There's a small chance we go south here, but still a lot of water in play, especially for Circle 4. And this is actually the kind of circles where I'm looking forward to land ratio not being in anymore. Like, the water here in Erangel from Yasnaya through the river to Georgia Pole does not matter. Like, nobody plays that. They play the bridges, they play around it, but they don't play the water, and it has absolutely no effect for the late game.
No, indeed, it'll be interesting for sure. I mean, even a circle like this, right? When suddenly you can just have a heightened potential of a 50-50 circle on things like the river, right? Like even that alone is scary.
Yeah, it is for sure. Fury going across here on the Western Bridge now, James, and there absolutely no one close. Extremely scared that someone's gonna bridge cam them here. Up in the high ground, close to Stalber, here's Na'Vi, our current leaders with 8 points ahead of VP, 12 points ahead of 17. Looking extremely poised for this win here. To go once again for the next one. Look, Rooks, absolute pull up here onto Petrichor Road. Easy flush as well to get one more kill for VP. They've been fragging out today.
Chasing them down at the moment. Not bad at all. And just kind of situated to almost dead center at the moment. Spaceman's not having any of it. Come back here. Once again with the hybrid. Seen, well, either more people are favoring it, which I don't believe is true, or unfortunately they're just having a bit of a harder time on the looting spree that they go on earlier.
Oh my god. That's a little bit rough. Ooh, okay. Not been able to connect that. That's good. The arena coming even later in, as we were talking about. Furia here is crazy. Myth also coming in extremely late. The arena with a decent game here could still contest himself for the top.
You think Arena's plan is to just try and find an emergency pickup and hope for the best later on?
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Novo has lots of loot, not enough time to loot all of it. That's why they're still in the blue, considering the second circle is closing, and we're going to go up to Cerveny.
Yeah, all these teams at the moment in the middle of the circle, a lot of them positioning themselves what is effectively towards the river, but at the same time, a lot of teams leaning on the far north side of this circle too. Obviously, for our first circuit, a lot of hard shifts. Birdie and the boys do see anyone's legend moving in alongside them, but moving in further away from them, so we'll take some shots here and there. He's got plenty of ammo to be able to do so. And we have a shift north.
Wow, that's a very northwestern shift here, James. A lot of teams are going to have to make big moves here. Fury's going to continue on that western side. Liquid is going to converge onto that location. We're going for a 2-2 split with the dog shack east. I'm going to the western side of this one here, leaving the recall side open. It's very crashable, very good for them to come in. Look at that, though. VP's coming in and getting onto the yellow houses that are no longer in a bad spot here. Actually, pretty central location for them here. Going to put in some pressure onto Liquid. Luke finds Nixie, absolutely donks him with the mini and puts him onto his knees here. Great knock.
I think also the Team Liquid 2-2 split meant that they had to just do some warding off shots against S2G, who almost came close to crashing into the warehouse that they're in, as well as Crossroad, but so they did back off after hearing those shots. Important for Team Liquid to kind of maintain that if they're going to stick with the 2-2 split. And Na'Vi way north, up towards the beach almost now. Maybe they crash into the position on Severny, but again, I mean, it's bold and early to be going into Severny. Didn't mean that to rhyme, but there we are.
Absolutely not. That's not something I'd like to see continue. That rhyming is absolutely legal, James. As 17 tries to fend off Furia, going on to the northern side here. They might actually be able to get quite deep here, because Twisted Minds only got example onto that high ground ridge that goes north of shooting range. So let's see how deep they take it, and if they're able to go deeper than this one. JDG is converging on this western side, trying to push them away or maybe get some kills for them.
Yeah, full sense on that shooting range position where JDG was trying to come in, like Cold Woman 9. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to get too far into that. And the fact that Full Sense has what is effectively a very common dip for something like this, not just shooting range, but the dip on the east side of it. Maybe he'll be able to control that for just a little bit longer here. As for Furia, what's the plan, man? Like, where are we going? Up to the cliffside? But from there, where's your next point? I guess actually Example might be in a bit of trouble if that's then maybe the next point.
Could be a little bit of a rough situation for him if they fully pull up on him. It's going to be a 4v3. DraftKings is sniffing it out. He's got a really good setup. He's going to get a kill or two here before he gets away, depending on how Fury engaged with this one.
You know, I looked at the map and I thought Example was actually in the building, but he's not at all. He's created himself a little dip. So actually, that might cause some confusion here for Fury if they do end up peeking on over. But Toolins is kind of flexing his muscles a little bit, trying to reinforce the Example position just in case. And now making it look like there is truly somebody here in this compound. So, yeah, I think Fury will back off.
If they pull up on, and they think it's only one guy, they know it's two here. If they think it's only one guy in the compound, they pull up on the wall that Petulins is in. Example's gonna have them open with their, they're gonna turn their back to him. And he's gonna have absolutely easy kills here. Let's see. I actually really like that. That's a kind of a bait to kind of reel them in a little bit. So let's see what Furia decides to do here. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a cautious play. Not committing too much with just 15 seconds to go before we see this next circle here, James. But I really like that. Setting up shop in a completely unexpected location. Having these off angles are always super crucial.
Yeah, I really like the breakdown. I think that could be super powerful if they'd have actually committed fully to that and just said, hey, it's just Petulins, lol. But anyway, now the circle does shift away. Crossroads is very much a focal point here for Team Liquid now as they've all rendezvoused down there. S2G surely saw that maneuver. Surely it might want to go into the warehouse, but maybe someone gets there ahead and that would be crazy. Doing so much damage. Just like that.
It's falling apart for them. Fury is out with just 8 points here. JD actually they took them completely apart here. They constructed such a good setup for it, and 17 is now engaging onto T1, and DN Super is going and engaging too.
Yeah, that was brutal for Furia. I mean, it felt like they just didn't have a game plan at all coming in from the west top in that top corner after having the Tulin shoot their way. Now, example, shooting at JDG, who's been able to get all of the kill points from that. Basically, free pickings from that one for JDG. And Cold119 on his spot, entering that kind of shelter area. Quite useful as a little bit of a checkpoint for them. But again, beyond that, from this west side, it gets very open between here to Severny towards the east. It's very open.
It is. Let's see how the teams in the west, they kind of try to figure this one out here. The split from 4A, I'm not sure, should be continuing. Maybe they should converge on a more central location here. The high ground warehouse being completely open is crazy as well. Na'Vi 2-2 splitting the gas station and the doghouses is kind of nuts. Let's see how Anyone's Legends is trying to engage onto this location here.
I like that drifting just then. It was cool. But might not be cool here for S2G, trying to hold on against Myth, now crashing in on their compound. As already though, Baron does go down. Baron takes Baron. Oh my days. I can't believe I had to say that. And Kiss trying to deal with it at the same time. M249 around the corner. Lazar holding on upstairs. There comes Kiss for the M249. He can just start spraying around the corner, but Lazar takes him. Oh, Lazar, this is so important. Can he hold on? No! Scappy takes him down. The breach is successful. I can't believe Baron knocked Baron.
Something in another dimension here happening, and now it's going to be a 4 AM pull up onto Na'Vi. Same locations here. They both drive in. Ferris gets hit by Agatar, unfortunately. More shots come in. Spiro finds one. Here's the Mema go down as well to Spiro after an insane pull up. Gets the ace shots down as Team Liquid's third party is the fight.
Tori down, Boosty down as well. Coming around the corner. No, Na'Vi shut away. That is the goalpost here for day number 1. 54 points on the day. Not too many points going the way of Na'Vi in the last 2. But they did so much work earlier than that. Now for VP, for 17, for a wounded 4 AM with a little bit of room. There is an opportunity here as Na'Vi starts to pack up.
Now Super is lost Rex, but a lot of damage done to Deal as well. Now good shots coming in from Deal, gets found by a nade by Cold though. JDD also gone down to multiple here. Human finds Nance, and it's a little bit of a rough fight for both. It might be a mutual destruction kind of scenario.
Might be. T1 also on the move as well. All the Korean teams here trying to make a bit of a dash for it against Heaven. Now Kinsley finds himself against him. Type is gone though as well. Our South Korean team's slowly falling here. I don't think there's much more room here for Gumin to be able to do something. Take a look at that circle shift. Gumin's gonna have a hard time going up this hill.
He's gonna commit all utility to it. He sees 1, sees 2. Gonna go for a sweep. No, I didn't see the other guy on the right side. And Dian Supers goes down in 12th place. And now Full Sense is gonna be having this fight here and try to push off Twisted Mind. That's a quick burn, gonna commit a bluestone to it as well. Lu tries to pull up as they lose their in-game leader at Tulins.
It's quite aggressive, and they need to be, as they need to get themselves a little bit of this circle to themselves at the same time. Anyone Legend doing some damage. That's going to force them to be even more aggressive, I would think, on the Full Sense location, unless they can drop down some smokes and just survive, weather the storm here for a little bit.
No, let's see how the location of that southern side is being anchored here with Lu. Trying to get and fend off some of the guys from Full Sense. It might be slowing down just a little bit as everyone finds their footing inside this next circle here. Power and trying to go for Mad Dash to get in, and lots of shots coming in. Correxy finds Winda. More bullets going towards Petrichor Road as well.
Definitely got an okay spot, right? So if they can get a little bit from this, that would be fantastic to try and get that catch-up going here against Na'Vi. Also a mortar, 169, and they have full clear vision of this. This might connect. They should have this dialed in distance-wise, and yes, he does! Oh. It's perfect here! Perfect vision of how to line that up. Oh, that is the ideal scenario for a mortar play.
Really well played here. Well executed by VP as they try to fend off all the teams on that southern side trying to get in, but E-Arena is also trying to get involved into this Petrichor Road fight here. James might be a little bit rough for them. E-Arena with the lyrics and Pathompong trying to get closer to Petrichor Road within range here. Example trying to get some shots towards Myth as well as they try to drive in.
Just maybe a second or a half too long a cook there as he drives on by. As seeing what they can get done a little bit more. Example Perfect is trying to weather some of the storm at the moment. Reposition the car a little bit, whatever the case. I mean, the wheels are going to be gone. Has to go into the smoke to get a first aid off. And reinforcements inbound. The paratroopers in Batulins coming back from the sky. I wouldn't be surprised if he opened the parachute early, but maybe he thinks that he can get some gear on board really quickly on this north side. I don't think so, though.
I think they might be thinking of a pull-up onto Myth and then get their gear away. Look at that.
Okay.
They have that northern side here. Wenbo does go down to Nance. JD having a little bit of a fight here. Tulens is landing in, and the Nox come off. Example trying to commit some utilities to get this mid location cleared.
You know, Jacob was parachuting in as well for Myth, and I was wondering whether or not they were going to end up landing next to each other and punching it out. That would have been absolutely wild. As Perfectix is actually doing something here. Scappy hits Petulins, though, with a nade. As quickly as you're back in the game, you could potentially be back out.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation where you don't have an armor. That 20% reduction from having an armor on is massive. Or even more if it's a higher level.
Yeah.
Maybe goes down to Chewy as well.
Okay, good stuff on that south side after them taking so much damage. E-Arena's going for a wide wrap here. They felt like they couldn't really do much more from this south side. I completely understand it. They would have had to go through an absolute gauntlet to be able to make something work. So what are we doing? We're crashing what Jacob's position? They don't know, actually, that they might know that he's there. Okay, they really know that he's there. He had no weapons. What was he going to do?
No.
Like,
they probably saw him landing in.
Yeah. Smart.
Alright, next circle has popped onto the absolute central location of Liquid, so we might be able to have a chance to listen into what they're thinking and how they could potentially win this game and get even more points to jump up the leaderboard. So let's try to listen in.
Tires, they're stuck there. Just pop some tires.
I got like no ammo.
We popped 3 cars, guys. They're fine. Save ammo for kills. Just chill. I'm gonna re-Korean park this.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to park it like here.
I was trying to run up on green.
I'm gonna look at midfeed. I don't know if they're instead or one up.
Maybe knock on green, guys.
Just Scappy,
Yeah,
Scappy.
he's in the blue.
Got knocked. Myth is wiped. It was Myth flying back in. He got run over.
Running right. Keep up.
All right, that was, of course, Team Liquid looking. They've had themselves such a good compound. Of course, they was to split across that from there, as well as the warehouses. Petrichor Road going down in the end. I think they realized it was always going to be difficult to get in from where they were. Anyone's Legend digging on in as well, knowing that Full Sense is going to be their next point of contact, no doubt.
Yeah, trying to save the ammo to make sure they have enough ammo for the kills, for the knocks that eventually and inevitably that's going to be happening here. All the teams are pushed towards them. And they're guaranteed to be inside this next circle here, with it being 65% of the circle diameter remaining. Window finds Lookarooks. VP tries to get this 4 AM player absolutely cleared out. They're struggling to get into this next circle. This looks like a 17 pull-up onto 4 AM and VP's southern location here.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to go, though. They're kind of like almost a little half-hearted as now they found themselves in a spot where it could be disaster. That exploding off the side of that, and another one follows through. Now the shield is gone here for the moment. And this is Shen moving forwards for the easy cleanup here. How does he always have a Groza? What's going on?
Every single time. An easy cleanup for Beanie here, though. Gets both Winda and Shen down. Now they have to disengage, but look at that next circle. They're going to have to make moves as well. Either push on to Liquid's compound or to try to get another foothold inside the circle on the southern side. Nixie already trying to go for it for the high ground push.
Yeah, I think that is very important. You've got to start thinking and planning these moves, even if you can just get one barrel looking down on this fight, right? Because that might, as you say, might need to be the next transition path. So he's already moved very early compared to the rest of his team, taking down Sololzi to start things off. Now a big push going forwards here with this third party. This could be huge here for Virtus Pro to make the catch-up happen against Navi at the moment. Tries to crash on through, gets the M249 out, tries to make a few more shots happen here. And Beamy right next to him, just steal everything, mate.
Try to get as many kills as possible. A lot of third parties going on. Helmet's going down as well to Lookarooks. Look at that. Such a great play. Great pull-up and awareness that the two teams are fighting on the western side at Full Sense, and anyone's legend completely falling apart. It's down to just Delwyn and Belmoth. Belmoth's currently outside the zone, and I think they're completely aware that they're on that northern side. They're getting shot as well from both sides. Look, 12 though gets the thumpong as E-Arena pulls up onto Liquid.
Yeah, just driving straight at the building. I don't know if that's what exactly you want to do here, because that was perfect. Easy pickings for Luke 12 there. And, of course, Petulin, of course, a steal away during all of that. I can't believe that Virtus.pro didn't even have a single knock go against them when they were trying for that move. Obviously, as the other two teams are very kind of focused on one another. Virtus.pro is currently on the cusp of taking number 1 away from Na'Vi. And...
Pons!
Pons takes down Elo.
Great play by them, but E-Arena's on a lot of pressure here. This split from Team Liquid, I think a little bit too greedy. They could have converged just a little bit on the western side. I hope that Copper's able to swing around and get something up, maybe save Elo here, but it's looking like it's going to be delayed. The C4 in hand, crazy pull-up, gets some shots in. Opens, turns around and gets Cowboy down as well, down to just 15 HP.
The jump shots are too bold, way too bold. And now Curexy shuts down Belmoth as well. That's Forcems going down in 6th place. That's Virtus.pro wrestling this position away. That's Virtus.pro wrestling away number 1. The PGS3 champions taking down the PGS2 champions on the leaderboard.
Absolutely insane scenes here for the last game. This was the final game for tomorrow. It'll be absolutely wild, but we're going to have absolutely insane scenes. Tomorrow, too, we have 5 more games, James, but Liquid, this could have been their game, it feels like. This was their compound. They locked it down, but stayed in the 2-2 greedy split. I like the idea to stay east to make sure, but I would like to see a reinforce, maybe, as all the other teams were fighting. I don't see Twisted Minds trying to make a push for a backfill, but let's see how everything is working out with this next circle about to pop.
I mean, we can't shy away from the fact that Twisted Minds not had the best day at all either, right? With only 21 points on the board so far, but they have been still staying alive. They came in from Saverni. Nobody challenged them too much on coming out from there, other than Myth ahead of them, but they were able to dispatch of them pretty well. There's now Purdy repositioning, moving people across the roads from the smoked. Cowboy, try and get him up as quickly as possible. They only have Opons behind them, so they have a little bit of time, unless the nades connect. It does not fully. And I don't think Opons has got anything left. No, he doesn't. Oh, bit of heartbreak there for Opons.
Yeah, that's going to be the big... If he got the confirm and the knock there, that would have been absolutely detrimental for Team Liquid's game here. But now with the 3-man, it's still possible. It feels like VP is looking strong. They're going to have to make moves later in the game. They do have vehicles that they have taken away or moved into the locations of that bunker side, but Twisted Minds is looking like they're going to have just a little bit of that next circle too, as Liquid finds lots of damage done onto Perfectix, so he gets knocked from Purdy Curdy.
Is there anything that anyone's legend can do from underneath VP? I don't think so, right?
No, it doesn't feel like it. This, I mean, again, should it be just to them waiting for the next circle and see who gets the most luck, or could they do a pull-up and try to get the points? I don't know. But again, Liquid's is just about getting Opons out and then stealing as many kills as possible. In my book, this is a 70% chance for Liquid and 15 for the other two teams, depending on where the circle goes. If they're able to reinforce a little bit on some of the ridges, and it forces the circle shift have to go completely west or completely northwest for the other teams to have a chance against Liquid, it feels like.
Yeah, it's just so open. So open. Delwyn living the mole man, living underneath them for now. And, you know, don't peek your head out, I don't think. Just wait it out and hope that you get a few more placement points here and there. Because Opons has to make the move. That's 22 damage done here with the M249. Not much bullets in the chamber. And actually, for nobody on Team Liquid, they're running out of ammo right now. They do take down Opons, but man, they would have loved that kill box. They would have loved the ammo.
Yeah. And now no time to go across to get some of the stuff on the other side that so many teams crashed into. And look at this, Owen's still alive, obviously. He's just going to bleed out eventually. Their PP guys know that he's there, so they're just waiting for him. They have good kill feed information. Delwyn's just going to deny this one here.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Just say, hey guys, I'm still here, bye.
It's the better way. You don't want to be giving it away, especially since you're in 3rd place with 45 points, right? Virtus.pro still alive. Giving them even just a single point could hurt tomorrow down the line. And Virtus.pro here, still maybe a little bit of an opportunity to play in. Obviously dropping some of that deployable cover, trying to move forwards a little bit. Still the compound's in though, Martin. Still it's in.
Yeah. How does the two teams approach this one here? VP obviously trying to set up as many emergency covers and Doritos as possible here, but is it too close and close enough to take on Twisted? I'm not sure. The guys trying to get involved as much as possible. Yeah, the angles might be enough on Twisted Minds. It could be just a fight for survival here for them. This 23 points is not enough to join in. And look, it's a big separation from 8 to 10. It's actually already 10 points. So tomorrow's going to be a hard time for them. They're going to have a record-breaking day to have a chance at getting into the top 3 and podium finishes here.
And if Team Liquid wants to challenge the top spots as well as Twisted Minds, they need this win. Need it, considering how separated it has been from VP, Na'Vi, etc. Cowboy has a perfect lineup shot here against Twisted Minds. Gets some almost free damage on them. An example does knock Nixie though, so that kind of evens things up a little bit, but not by much. I don't like their position at all for Twisted Minds.
Rich that Twisted Mind has to work with a little bit of utility. If they play it smart, they might have more time than VP does. A little bit of smokes here. Only one smoke grenade launcher. Put it on to Beanie. Only 2 stun grenades. And Looker just looking sparse. Trades on both sides. 2 been found here by Twisted Mind. It's down to just 1 player.
Yeah, people are taking really egregious angles. I'll stand on the top of this deployable cover and hope that nobody shoots me back. It's like, okay, yeah, I think people are going to shoot you back because there's really just not much room to work with here. For Twisted Minds, Batulins will deny as well. Understandable. Virtus Pro, though, if they walk away with a win, they are going to separate themselves even more from that top pack at the moment, as Team Liquid now taking a few shots, now moving forwards, getting them some deployable cover themselves. With the cars already moved up, it's not too bad. They've taken spot on the exact dead center. Does Virtus Pro have any utility here, Martin?
I don't think they have enough. 2 nades as well on Luke for when they pack up close between the last kind of cover that they have. It's going to be a little bit rough. It's going to be a mechanical fight battle here.
Not bad. Oh,
able to get the peaks out, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just scared about the ammo situation, and I think they were a little bit as well. Purdy, though, okay.
The boomstick.
I guess everybody's...
Oh, that's one.
Okay. Catastrophe there for Beamy. He was just digging, trying to get something going, but nice shot out of that. Molly in the sky. Now a nade goes forward. You can't shoot that out of the sky, and you're gonna get blown up on the ground as another one goes forwards. Nixie now down. Purdy Curdy moving forwards. Luke 12 with an absolute banger. Team Liquid had this game on paper, and now they have this game in reality, unless Curexy can make something magic happen.
Without it. Oh, it's just about denying, yeah, isn't it?
Fair.
Smart, give it up. There's no point. But Liquid, though, they do get another one. The Americans strike back with a 7-kill chicken dinner here for a home turf circle for Liquid up north in Severny.
It's an important one. It felt like this was the team or the region that kind of needed to join the top pack, and that will push Team Liquid to try and challenge it, especially for tomorrow. Let's get Macho and Poro back in and get us talking about it. Team Liquid, Porosaurus, you've been able to put one on the board.
Who needs bullets when you got grenades if you're Team Liquid, right? Like, yeah, who needs it? But I guess this is what you guys have been feeling like for the longest time. They're leaving it all the way to the last game of the day. Look, from the word go, aggression has been the name of the game for Team Liquid so far today, and it hasn't been going their way. So finally, they get a circle home field advantage, and they manage to clutch out the win. So that is absolutely huge for them going into tomorrow.
Matrim?
I mean, yeah, that's all you can really say. They were burning through every single thing that they had just to manage to get into the later stages. You're talking about the economy that they had set up. They weren't celebrating that one in the slightest. It was them and Twisted Minds that desperately needed points going into this game. Both squads managed to make it into the later stages. Team Liquid, I think, barely overstepping Twisted at the very last section of it. But really, VP is the story on top. Now getting that first place position, getting the kills, and it's still just going to be a chase for Twisted and Team Liquid to see if they can get involved.
Yeah, let's take a look at the highlights. And also, I can't recall a time where I've seen someone like Alo try and mean mug.
Somebody was going to call that out.
And he's like the most cuddly person in the world, Poro. There's no way he could pull this off.
he looks so angry. Na'Vi doing everybody a favor here. I guess 4 a.m. doing everybody a favor by going down early and kind of allowing some of these other teams to catch up just a little bit. Got to see a lot of scrapping over there on that western side. But as you said, Virtus Pro and Twisted Minds looking really... I can't believe Twisted was able to get as far into that game after what looked like it looked like they were done. Like they were done. And then they were able to kind of salvage it up and get a top 3 spot. That's huge.
Yeah, not bad at all. I thought that it was going to be hard going up against Myth in the position that they have, but they were able to overcome that. And of course, towards the end, all of these players will see quite a few denies in these kinds of formats because it just gets too close towards the end. Even in the early games of day one of this final, we saw denies, but it will be 17 points going the way of Team Liquid. Virtus Pro with 14. I think, Martin, when we look at Virtus Pro being in number one, we're very used to this now, especially with them going into day two looking strong.
It's massive for them to come in and secure even more points, obviously, here. But Liquid to get 17. They were 13 on the day. Now to put themselves in 30. They can put themselves into the conversation tomorrow. And now, yeah, again, 30 points. Only 8 points up to 6th place is very doable.
And here's the lay of the land for tomorrow. As, of course, it's interesting to also take stock of the fact that we had those advance points, right, Matrim? Because technically speaking, anyone's legend came in with a clean 10 points. So if you kind of deduct that and kind of how things all go, whereas for Virtus Pro, they had 2. For Na'Vi, they had 0. So that really shows how much a bigger day that they have had today.
Yeah, in between, while we were watching that game, Poro and I were doing a little bit of math because both Twisted and Team Liquid were not necessarily having the best of days. And we were like, okay, well, Twisted came in with like 1 point, and then we were looking at Furia. Fury had 4 points, and they are just not having the best of days either. So at least seeing a little bit more of a rally here at the tail end of it, as yes, it is nice to see a little bit of a reward coming in for these squads based off of what the performance that they did in the winners brackets and stuff like that, but not necessarily enough to be a massive influence. And I think that we're starting to get a little bit of risk reward coming in off of that, and that's not terrible to see.
Of course, as Team Liquid, here's the numbers that they're able to put up. Luke 12 on the east side of this compound. I feel like as much as he's going to be the man of the match, he kind of drew the short straw holding that east side Avenger. And it was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to try and shoot at everything and then maybe die in the process.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea holding